So welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at Demyansk Shield, which is a game that's designed by Vance von Barres, and it's put out by Legion Wargames. This is brand new off their CPO. It's the Frozen Fortress, January through May 1942. And this covers, I want to get this wrong. So it covers kind of the 16th Army Group, and it's their defensive stance against the flank of North Army Group who were proceeding towards Leningrad. So they ran into a lot of heavy resistance, and the 3rd Soviet Shock Army counterattack was fairly strong, and a game starts kind of around that area. It's a medium complexity game, and you can play this solitaire nice and easily. You got 1 or 2 players. Let's crack this open. This is like a 1-inch box, 1.5-inch box, which is something that I'm used to from Legion Wargames. They're able to pack a lot into these small boxes, which is a miracle every time. Okay. So you got this great artwork. These German soldiers just pounding through the snow, looking demoralized, one might say. So we have a bag of bags and a D6 in there. We'll be using that for rolling the dice. We have typical looking Legion Wargames rulebook here. We've got 28 pages. Looks like the back of which you got some scenarios here, extended sequence of play. And then this is probably some designer notes at the end. Yeah, designer section. So really there's probably only, that's combat, how to win, 20 pages of rules. So that's really not very bad. You got front cover here. So you have some level of pictures and icons, but it's a lot of text. Again, it's fairly well spaced out, not bad. You have some pictures, examples of supply routes and different things. So it looks like it's going to be fairly easy to learn and grasp. They have example of retreats to enemies EOC. So some of the more complex examples they've got diagrams of. Really, that's not too bad for a war game on this kind of a level. And I guess we're getting right in there. We have 1, 2 sheets of counters, it looks like. So you can see this is the German forces here. You got this nice gray color. Got NATO symbols, fairly standard. You got some planes up here. You got Stukas, Heinkels going on. You have these, I believe these are entrenched markers. There's some SS units up here in black. And these are all double-sided, so you've got reduced units on the back. I'm just going to punch a few of these out just to see how easy those come out. So these ones, they're a little tougher to punch, but we'll just go ahead and do that here anyway. Ooh, these ones are quite stiff in there, and I don't want to ruin them. Ooh. Okay. So these ones are fairly well attached. So I'm going to be doing some counter clipping on these. In doing that, I was probably a bit too ham-fisted with those, so I'm going to be a bit more careful in the future. But getting these apart is quite difficult, so I'm going to glue that one back together. But they're very, very nice counters, very easy to read, got a good text on those. And so we've got the Russian forces here, and these are all divided up as well into various forces. So these are very standard type of Hexen counter war game. So we'll just set those aside. The counters are going to be nice and easy to read. We'll see what it looks like on the table with those. Here's the map. We'll fold this out. This is a great map. Be nice and careful with this thing. You've got good paper stock on here. Oh, got upside down. Let's see if I can't get all of that in. It's a standard, I think 17 by 24 or 24 by 32 map. Fairly easy on the eye. Got a lot of forest, but the nice white snow background means you don't get too much clutter on here. So you've got these boxes on the right hand side. So you've got a turn track up here with a little weather table. and you've got the weather conditions to track here. You've got a victory point track, but then each of the different factions has their own kind of section here. We have available units, eliminated units, and you have the marsh units, and then Army Group North. Whereas, and these are a little bit asymmetrical in the way that they work. The Russians have units that rebuild over time, and their forces are divided up into 3 different fronts, which have different colors on them. And you'll see with the counters here. So you've got the red is the northwest front, all of these ones. You've got the yellow, which is the Valdai front, and this is in the Valdai Valley here. And then you've got the southwest front in the green ones here. So there's some kind of learning the intricacies of both sides and how they work mechanically, as well as, you know, having the different game experiences playing both sides. So there's a lot more replay value in this game than you might first see. So there's a blue piece of paper, and then the rest of the stuff in the box, there are a series of play aids and charts. So we'll walk through these here. So you've got a terrain effects chart. Again, nice and big and easy to read. And then it's got a kind of a how to read the unit section down here, so you know what's what. Each unit has an attack strength, a defense strength, and a movement value, fairly standard. What's interesting is that stacking in this game varies depending on which type of unit you have. So right here, this has, let's get them focused. These pips, this counts as 3 points for stacking limits. And you can see it's because that's a much larger unit than this unit here, which only has 2 pips for the stacking limit. So you got to be kind of cognizant of what units you have where, because the stacking is a little bit in flux, so you have to pay a bit more attention to that than you would do in other games. What makes these a good solitaire is that they're single-sided, so you don't have to sit there flipping a charts over. You can just lay them all out on your nice table. You don't have to keep cross-referencing everything. Let's see, we have charts and tables. So you have CRT here, so you'll be rolling a d6, and then presumably it's against your combat odds here, and then that gives you a result of what's going to happen. A lot of different types of results there, so we'll be learning what all of those do. You have a victory point chart, how many victory points each of these different locations get you, and you got retreat options and various different charts that we'll be referencing through the game again as a single-sided sheet. And then we have, I believe there's 3 different scenarios in this. Let me double check. 2, 3, yeah, there's 3 different scenarios. And they're all very different number of turns. So scenario 1 has 8 turns, scenario 2 has 7, and then scenario 3 is those combined basically, and you have 18 turns, which is the whole of the campaign. So these are setup cards for each one of those different scenarios. So it tells you which ones are on the board, and you can kind of see here. So this one's in this hex, whereas this one is in this hex, and you've got these are kind of joined together in this outer border, and they're all in this one hex here, these 2. So that's kind of how those are organized. Then you've got that same thing for scenario 2, and then you've got your historical placement of different bits and pieces there. You have a reinforcement card for scenario 1 and 2. And then you've got the red version of those. So you've got setup for scenario 1, scenario 2, and then reinforcements for 1 and 3. So there's a lot of different stuff that goes into all of these. I really like these. This is very nice. Sometimes setting up these war games is egregious, especially if it's just a list of numbers. Not that it's that much different, but having the little pictures and being able to reference those and kind of check them off one at a time makes the setup nice. These are very handy. You don't have to memorize or just stare at a piece of paper the whole time with a big long list. So, this is a game that I'm pumped to play with Grant. I think it's a very unique kind of military operation that happened, and a game is a topic I don't even know if there is another game that focuses on this particular situation in this level of detail. So watch out for a play of this coming soon and a more detailed kind of review of how the game plays, what the mechanics are like, and how the combat works, and if this is a game for you. But it looks great. Looks like a very 20 pages, medium complexity, good solid war game. So I've been Alexander from theplayers8.com, and this is Demyansk Shield.